We are live. Good evening, everybody. My name is. Okay, let's the thing gets settled and then we will start talking. I guess my fellow is doing something. Just give us 10 seconds. So we all know why we are here. We need few seconds more, I guess. So okay, we are live. My name is Chandrima. Good morning. Sorry, good evening. Sorry, good evening, everybody. And I am. Okay, so can you hear me now? Okay, so there were a few technical glitch, but I think I'm audible and visible as well. So fine. Good evening, everybody. My name is Chandrima, and I'm going to play one Indian classical instrument. This is called sarod. First of all, I don't know how much my instrument is visible. I hope I'm trying to, keep it visible to all of you. First of all, this is an Indian classical instrument, and these are the strings, basically the main strings, and there are strings like this, which are called rhythm strings, and this 11 strings are called taraf strings, and it is basically gives the resonance and kind of feeling of Indian music, Indian classical music. So, and one more thing I would like to, show all of you. This is the plectrum basically, and this is made up of coconut shell, and this is very, very specific, and this is a very, musician oriented thing. So, and it's completely manual. So, it's one thing that we really do a lot of respect for. So yes, this is my Java, and or you can say that plectrum, and this is my instrument. I hope you can see this quite well now. And the raga I'm going to play is called Patdeep. So I'm going to play in two halves. One is the alap, and second one is the jor. I would like to just give a little brief about it so that you can get the essence when I will be playing that. The alap is basically the melody or the the peace of your soul and the mind, and we are going to use mostly these three and this one for alap, that is a mainstream. And we are going to, in the second half, that is a jor, that is more lively and more rhythmic part of it, and there will be playing on this rhythmic section. We'll be adding on that. So you will be getting to, I'm seeing a lot of people are sending love to me. Thank you so much. And so let's start now, and let's see if you like it or not. Let's start. Looks great. I think there is again some technical glitch. Just pardon us. I apologize from the team. Just give us few minutes. I hope my fellow colleagues will sort it out. Namaste. Thank you so much for watching.
Thank you, Chandrama, for your informative words and your lovely performance. So, good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all the dignitaries and the guests. I feel extremely privileged to extend my warm welcome to everyone present here to the concluding session of the ICCP 2021. First, I would like to invite Professor Andrea Flossman, the President of the ICCP, to deliver the address. Professor Andrea.
Thank you. We planned the 18th International Cloud Physics Conference for 2020 in the city of Pune in beautiful India. The organization was well decided. With the hit, we were all very disappointed. In particular, IITM and Tara, who wanted to show us their facilities and country. In the end, not even a hybrid meeting was possible, and we resigned to do the entire conference virtual. What initially seemed to be the consolation prize finally turned out quite wonderfully. Tara and her team put together a remarkable event on the 3 different platforms: AirMeet, iPoster, and GatherTown. We all learned to navigate the platforms quite easily, and despite the lack of personal contact, the feeling of an in-person conference was almost recreated. We had oral presentations in AirMeet with discussions. Of course, the time for discussion and the presentations was too short. But I heard the same complaint for the preceding in-person conferences. Time is always too short. But the compromise of the 2 hours of 5-minute orals and the 10 minutes discussions was chosen to accommodate our different time zones and the fatigue we experience in front of the screen. And all sessions started on time, which was already always difficult to achieve in in-person conferences. We had the poster sessions with iPoster, and after the first poster session lacking interactions, Tara and her team on short notice succeeded to whip together a combination of iPoster and GatherTown, and gave us the almost realistic feeling of an in-person poster session. We could meet in front of a poster and discuss, or just intercept a passing colleague to exchange a few words. And finally, we had at the end of the day the event discussions in Gather on different topics that turned out quite lively and covered subjects that will be picked up and pursued by ICCP in the future. So overall, I had a lot of enthusiastic comments and congratulations from the participants. And I want to summarize what I heard, and for that I ask to put on the presentation or the slide. Can someone put on the plaque? Because I want to express my thanks to Tara and your team for a wonderful conference in difficult times, for the reactivity, the helpfulness, and the friendliness in face of what seemed initially like an impossible thanks. You did great. And you will also receive this plaque if you want via mail, in appreciation for your dedication, perseverance, and limitless energy that guaranteed the success of this conference during a really difficult worldwide situation. However, your task is not over yet. The event discussions have been recorded and are already available via YouTube. And we send out the links via email to all of you, as well as the links for the preceding cloud modeling workshop. However, the work remains to see in which way we can archive and make available the talks and the posters on the ICCP webpage for the future. Maybe Tara can already give us some information later on about that. For me, there remains just to repeat my thanks and to say goodbye to all of you. Not only because the conference ends, but also as my term as president of ICCP ends with this ceremony. It was a pleasure working with all of you, and I will see you again, hopefully in person, in Jeju, South Korea, in only 3 years, in 2024, for the 19th ICCP conference. However, I have the feeling that COVID has changed our habits permanently, and the new commission should probably include to their planning a virtual part of the conference. For those that cannot travel, and as an emergency backup in case of new crises. And now I hand over the floor to our Secretary-Treasurer, whose term ends with mine, for some famous last words. Daryl, it's up to you.
Thank you very much, Andrea. First, I'd like to say that it's been a real pleasure working with you the last 8 years. I remember our very first meeting at the Leipzig conference where we discussed what we were going to do. And I think that we can know that we have accomplished a lot, and it's been a great pleasure working with you. Secondly, this is my 10th ICCP meeting, and I have to tell you that it is the most memorable, and for many reasons, and it's because of Tara. And Tara, you and your team have done a great job. It's been a wonderful pleasure working with you. And I know that you're very proud of what you've accomplished. And I know that you're also very tired. So I hope that you take a very good rest after this. And I'd like to thank all the participants for being very patient and understanding. You've made this work so well, and I've learned so much this week. Thank you very much. And I look forward to seeing so many of you at the coming conferences. So I would like to end with that, thanking everybody again. And I'll turn it over to our next commission president, Professor Greg McFarquhar.
Actually, I think Thara was going to go next, and then I was going to be after Thara.
Oh, my apologies, Tara. It's all yours.
You're muted, Tara.
Yeah, I just want to say a few words before we end this conference. Hello and namaste to each one of you. And last 5 days, it has been 5 intense days, I must say. And this ICCP conference was a dream for all of us, a beautiful dream which was made possible despite all the problems that threatened it from happening. And it was delayed because of the pandemic, but because of all of you, it turned out to be a dream come to reality. Unfortunately, all good things must come to an end. So the organizing committee, have enjoyed having you here with us. It was nice to see you, interact with each one of you, listen to your talks, and looking at your beautiful and informative posters. And your participation made the panel discussions lively and thought-provoking as well. And I wish and hope that these panel discussions will lead to some very important decisions and for the future. I hope you enjoyed the conference, and even though it was a virtual conference, it was enriching like the earlier ICCP conferences. We know that it will never be the same as an in-person conference, but we hope that it was better than you expected in an online conference to be. It has been a new experience for all of us in this situation, and we ourselves were learning along the way. If there were any shortcomings from our side, or if you have suggestions to improve the experience, you can always let us know. The LOC of this ICCP 2021 deserves all the credit for functioning of this conference. It's not just one person. We had 8 moderators in the oral sessions and 2 panel or poster session moderators. And they worked really hard all these days in order to make it a success. There were several volunteers on the Gather Town platform, and they worked tirelessly to make it interactive. There were several others working behind the scenes to make sure that all your needs were met. The team from India Attitude have put a lot of late hours to ensure that online platforms worked very well. A big thank you to them. And especially we want to thank Aarti and Puneet. They have made a big effort towards this. Over the next 1 month, the AirMeet platform will be open for all of you to access. You can play or replay all the sessions that are available there in case you miss some talks that you wanted to hear. After 1 month, we will transport all the talks to the ICCP website and the conference website as well. So we'll make sure that all that happened in this conference are documented and recorded very well and archived. So next thing is the Gather platform is available throughout, and iPosters are also available and placed there. We encourage you to continue discussing the posters. We can designate some specific times if desired to view the posters together, or to increase so as we can increase further discussions. Our wish was to conduct the ICCP conference in person at IITM. And that dream continues. It is not stopped there. So we want you to experience the magic of Indian monsoon in the beautiful hills that surround us. It was a dream that didn't happen this time, but we dare to dream it once again. We wish you all well and hope that you will be safe. And this is not goodbye, it is until soon. And thank you and namaste. Thank you so much.
Namaste.
Thank you, Dr. Tara, Dr. Darrell, and Professor Andrea for the kind words. We are moving toward new beginnings. So now I would like to invite Professor Greg McFarland, the new president of the ICCP Commission, to deliver the presidential address.
Okay, well, thank you very much for this opportunity to speak. And the first thing I would like to talk about is I would like to thank 3 people who deserve tons of thanks. That is Andrea Flossman, Daryl Baumgardner, and Thara. First of all, speaking about Thara, this is my 9th ICCP conference. And I must admit, I was worried being an entirely virtual conference that it would not reach the bar of the informative talks and the great discussions of the 8 previous conferences I have attended. But due to Thara's tireless work, this conference has been just as good as any of those that I have been previously to, and I think she and her team deserve our incredible gratitude for putting together such an incredible conference in an incredibly difficult situation. I'd also like to thank Andrea and Daryl for their great service over the past 12 to 16 years serving on the executive of the ICCP Commission. They truly have initiated a lot of new activities that have really been a lot of work. There's a lot of work that they have done behind the scenes that you may not be aware of. And, you know, just incredible things, the series of workshops that have been conducted, the statements that have come out, the planning, the participation in conference. So I think we owe them a great vote of thanks for their activities. As I've said before, the only thing negative I would say about Andrea and Daryl's efforts is that they've put an extremely high bar that our new commission will need to follow. Our hope certainly is that the 2024 conference will be in person at Zezu Island. However, given the success of this virtual platform and the potential to meet or to reach more individuals in a virtual conference, we will certainly look at the options of making this a hybrid meeting so that we can get the benefit of both worlds. We are definitely going to build upon the great strengths and successes of this conference. I'd also like to talk a little bit about what the future holds for ICCP. We have had a number of excellent event discussions during the course of this meeting, and we are going to build upon those discussions to increase the reach of the ICCP Commission. First of all, I want to point out that JEDI, that is Justice, Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion, must be probably the most important goal of the ICCP going forward. And there are a number of initiatives we can pursue in order to ensure inclusivity, diversity, and equity. I will work with the Commission to try and change the way that we evaluate abstracts for the 2024 meeting, to use a blinded review process so that people can be assured that the talks and posters will be selected based on the quality of the abstract rather than any perceived bias that reviewers might have. Another thing that we are open to exploring is that at this time, we are not well represented globally. We do not have a single representative from Africa in our committee, and we only have one from South America. We are not well represented by the developing world. If there are those who would wish to serve on the commission, the new commission can still consider the possibility of adding 1 or 2 new commission members to ensure that the commission truly does have a global reach. Luis and Zaman and collaborators did an excellent job in presenting a survey and leading an equity discussion. It was clear that we did not solve all the problems and that discussion only represented the beginning of our efforts. We will plan on having a similar discussion before the 2024 meeting and also conducting a similar survey, if not before. We will also have discussions within our committee to ask what else we can do to support JETI activities. And one thing that we will try to do is to try to make sure that we have regular newsletters that we send out to the ICCP mailing list so that people can be aware of the activities. And associated with this is that there's only a very minor subset of people who attended this conference who are on the commission. That does not mean that if you're not on the commission, you cannot have a voice or play a role in organizing future activities. We've come up with all kinds of different ideas in this meeting of new activities that we need to be involved with, be it perhaps monthly seminars that can bring together the model and observational community. We need champions, people with energy to put these activities together. It can't fall just upon the president, vice president, and secretary treasurer to do all of this. So the commission members will be helping with this, but also, even if you're not on the commission right now, we welcome your involvement in planning these activities. Other examples of types of activities that we'll need to pursue is that we'll need to make a number of necessary statements that reflect what we feel. In the recent session led by Alexei Korolev, it was noted that we probably need a statement to talk about the importance of laboratory and experimental studies, something that we can put out that affirms our belief that this is something that is very important and underfunded right now. Certainly, the ICCP does not have any money to fund these activities, but we can make statements that say we endorse these activities that in turn can be taken to funding agencies in many different countries so that hopefully we can make progress on this. ICCP in the past has been active in making various statements in geoengineering and weather modification. Heike Wex has stated a strong desire that we need to make a statement on the urgency to act on climate change. And this is certainly something that will be taken up by the new commission and almost certainly acted upon. In the cloud community, we deal with topics related to some of the major uncertainties in future projections of climate change, such as cloud feedback mechanisms and aerosol cloud interactions. It's important to have a statement out there to acknowledge that those uncertainties still exist and that we need continued work on these topics. But we need to emphasize in our statement that despite these uncertainties, we are seeing effects of climate change right now, be it in the frequency of severe weather events, the problems with too much water and too little water, drought and floods. We're seeing it in fire weather, especially in the United States this summer and other regions of the world. So there needs to be a statement that there is an urgent time frame to act. We will put together our statement and stick to the science, and then people can take those statements and do what they wish with them if they wish to approach political leaders and so on, so that we're staying within the scope of our mission. And finally, we want to also do a lot of activities that will help pursue and implement international collaborations. I think this is going to be a key to success, that we can come together with synergy, with the strength of our whole, for things that we cannot do with a single agency or a single funding mechanism in a single country. We need to think about what we can do by bringing all of our collective expertise together so that we really can advance the study of cloud science. This will not only help in equity efforts, it will help in pursuing training efforts related to underdeveloped countries, and also in putting together some important, perhaps scientific experiments, be they field comparisons, field projects, model intercomparisons, or laboratory studies as well. So again, we will certainly just be the voice that says what is needed so that these activities can be taken to very many funding agencies, and hopefully some international collaborative proposals can come out of this. As part of this, we have to look at planning workshops. We have heard a lot of ideas for these workshops. Now, as we say that these could be in the form of monthly seminars, but we need to take advantages of conferences where many of our members go to. For example, this will include the 2022 AMS Cloud Physics Conference in Wisconsin, the 2023 IUGG meeting in Berlin, of course, the 2024 ICCP in Jeju, Korea, and also the 2025 meeting of YAMAS and other agencies in Busan, Korea. We can think about workshops that we can conduct before and after on various topics, such as model observational intercomparisons that bring these communities together. We can focus on important topics like secondary ice production, cloud liquid water content, and why GCMs and NWPs don't do a good job producing that, mixed phase overlap, looking at processes, how we can combine models, experimental studies, and field observations, as well as Lagrangian models and bulk schemes to make progress on this. Extreme weather events is an extremely important subject, and we may want to revisit weather modification and warm rain processes. And perhaps some of these monthly seminars we could put together could set the stage for some of these meetings. And finally, I really want to emphasize openness. Please feel free to contact myself, Heike, Martina, or any of the members of the ICCP committee on any issue that you think is important, and we will make sure that these issues get heard. And also, there are lots of opportunities for volunteering. Also, think about the cloud physics family tree. For those of you who are not on that family tree, it traces the hierarchy of who your advisor was, their advisor's advisor, and advisor, advisor, advisor. It is a truly fascinating document. Unfortunately, we were not able to display it in Pune this year, but assured that in 2024, we would like to have a new version of that family tree that is comprehensive of everybody who's in the cloud physics field to ensure that they are represented. And finally, start thinking about the year 2028. At the 2024 meeting, we will be awarding where the site of the ICCP conference in 2028 will be. If you would like to host this meeting, please seriously think about doing that and putting a proposal together. We have example proposals of past successful bids that you can see to get an idea. And again, we're just interested in going to interesting parts of the world where there's a lot of cloud physics activity going on. So we owe again a debt of gratitude to Andrea, Daryl, and Thara for really keeping this process going over the last several years. And as they stated, certainly what they did was not the end, but it was truly a great beginning that we can build upon. And I look forward to working with all of you on these activities. So thank you very much. And hopefully we'll see you before 2024 at some of these other meetings. And at this stage, I think we are ready to go to the closing, which will be done by Medha, or I'm not sure, Medha Deshpande. I'm not sure if someone else is going to introduce her. But again, thank you very much for the honor that has been granted to me to serve as president. And I look forward to doing my best and hope not to disappoint you. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Greg. Next, we have Dr. Medha Deshpande, who is a scientist at IITM Pune, to perform a song, Vande Mataram. The Vande Mataram song is a poem in the Sanskrit language written by Bankim Chandra Chatterjee in the 1870s. The poem was first composed and sung by Rabindranath Tagore, India's first Nobel Prize recipient. The song was later adopted as India's national song. I would like to invite Dr. Mehta to perform the song.
Thank you very much. Mataram Vande Mataram Sujalam Sufalam Malayaj Sheetalam Sashashamala Mataram Vande Mataram Vande Mataram Shubhra Josna Pulakitayaminim Fullakusumita Drumadala Shobhinim Suhasinim Sumadhura Bhashinim Sukhadam Varadam Mataram Vande Mataram Vande Mataram Vande Mataram. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Mehta. Thank you so much. So, shall I end the session?
Yeah, with this, we can end this session.
Thank you all. Thank you very much.
Thank you all.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, everyone.